Hey everybody, awesome news. You may have heard about the Titans TV show casting its Nightwing, all the other big characters. They also just cast Hawk and Dove, Alan Ritchson, who played Aquaman on Smallville, as well as Minka Kelly, who's playing Dove. And the thing is, they haven't even debuted the series yet. They haven't even shot the first episode, but they're eyeballing Hawk and Dove for a spin-off series from Titans on that DC streaming service. So I'll explain what's going on, as well as what's up with Hawk and Dove's powers and what they might look like on the TV show. So if you're new to the channel or you've been gone during the summer, make sure you click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of the videos. There's going to be a lot of stuff dropping really soon. There is new giveaway stuff that I'll explain at the end of the video too. But you may have seen my last Titans video that I did when they announced who their Nightwing was. So obviously that's going to be a really big deal. We get to see him become Nightwing over the course of the TV show. It's post-Robin, but pre-Nightwing, so he's becoming Nightwing as they bring the Titans together. But whereas the Titans are just coming together for the first time, Hawk and Dove sound like they've been sort of their own solo act for a while, and they sort of cross paths with the Titans and they'll just pop in and out of the stories. I don't know if they'll be main characters during the first season, but if they're eyeballing them for a spin-off series, that means that they'll probably be featured quite a bit. Remember the way they did Barry Allen on Arrow? They introduced him in a 2-part episode, then he went off to his own pilot series. The reason why that was a little bit different is because The Flash is one of the biggest DC Comics characters. They had already 100% decided to do a Flash TV show. It was just a question of how they were going to introduce the character into the Arrowverse and whether or not it was going to be a pilot or if it was going to be a backdoor pilot. But with this Hawk and Dove, yeah, you have a couple big actors. It's totally possible it could be an awesome series, but the characters aren't that big. And even though Minka Kelly is a stone-cold fox, she's freaking hot, and Alan Ritchson could totally wreck it. People wanted him to be Shazam for a while. I think a lot of the success of these new comic book TV shows is directly tied to which characters they're doing. Like, if you don't do a character that people like, it's going to be 10 times harder to get people to watch the series, even if they're really awesome episodes. You already have so many Arrowverse shows with the big A-list characters. So I'll just say right up front that even though I'm expecting them to be awesome on Titans, I just don't think that they're big enough for their own TV show. I don't think it's going to wind up happening. But if you're not familiar with the characters, everybody knows that Hawk and Dove come together, but I don't think that everybody totally understands how their powers work, where they come from.
Hawk! Dove! Boom!
So the whole thing is that they activate their bird-related powers by saying their names, Hawk and Dove. So it's sort of like Shazam. You say Shazam, Billy Batson becomes Shazam, or Captain Marvel if you still want to call him that. Technically, DC isn't allowed to call him Captain Marvel anymore. But Hawk and Dove get their powers from the Lords of Chaos and Order. So if that sounds kind of weird because they have Marvel characters that are also called that, then yeah, they might change that for the TV show just a little bit. So whenever they beat the crap out of whatever trouble's happening, whenever they save the day, their powers just sort of go away automatically. It's sort of an automatic on-off switch. The big difference with Hawk's powers, like as you can see, he looks pretty crazy. He's sort of like a proto-Red Lantern type character. Limitless rage. Whereas Dove has energy projection powers, Hawk really just hulks out. So just imagine Alan Ritchson going crazy on everybody in a dark alley like he were a Red Lantern. But part of the reason why it's so critical that they stay together is because Dove has this ability where she balances his emotions out so he doesn't wind up killing everybody. He turned into a full-blown supervillain at least twice in the comics, so we might actually see that happen at some point in the show, or just tease the idea that he is teetering on the edge of becoming a supervillain, and you're not really sure if he's a hero or if he's going to be a villain. But then Dove walks in and he chills out a little bit. The greatest supernatural roid rage you could possibly imagine. Speaking of which, some of you might remember Alan Ritchson from Blue Mountain State where he played a football player. Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen, was a guest star on that TV show a long time before he ever became the Green Arrow.
He's our starting quarterback, and it's the biggest game of the season. We're playing Overland. You can't take him away from me, Warren.
He was arrested with a prostitute?
Come on, he was set up. The kid does missionary work, for Christ's goddamn sake.
That was mostly a comedy series, but it also starred Pete from Smallville. So there's this big meta Smallville DC TV thing that's going on where actors just pop up on each other's shows. But if you've seen Brave and the Bold or Justice League Unlimited, they've been in a couple episodes, but it was the earlier version of the Dove character. There have been a couple different versions of the character. The first version of Dove was a man. It was Hank and Dawn Hall. This version of Dove is the second version. She'll be Dawn Granger. And they have a sort of implied relationship, but it's kind of abusive, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dove on the TV show on Titans winds up getting into a relationship with Nightwing or someone else. There's all this funny stuff that goes on behind the scenes within the Titans team. If you've seen any of the TV shows or ever read the comics, there's a lot of soap opera that's built into it, which is really kind of funny, because most of the time, Corey either walks around naked or in a bikini, so it just throws everybody off their game. It'll be interesting to see how funny the show gets with stuff like that. I think they'll tone it down just a little bit. Like, I don't think they're going to make the Starfire actress walk around in a bikini every single episode. But here's a little bit of what their powers look like on screen.
Hawk, you're with me. Dove,
I'm on it. Both of you, scram.
So as you can see, super speed, super strength, stuff like that, that's easy for them to do on the television shows. I don't know about energy projection, we'll see about that. When they're in their avatar state, they're actually beings of pure light, even though they appear human. So when they get wounded, when their costumes get ripped off, you see their true form and it's just like this bright, shining light. So we might see a version of that on the TV show too. So just remember that the Dove will be the female version of the character. Obviously, Minka Kelly does not look like a man. That would be very awkward. But in terms of special effects, stunts, fight scenes, the Titan show will be able to do anything that you've seen before on the DC TV shows. Congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Overlord Kinsey. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. While you wait for everything, click here to learn about more of the Titans cast, and you can click here for brand new Thor footage. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.